Hi, I'm Dr. Lynn. Here are some tips for how to position yourself on the toilet to make bowel movements easier. First, you want to find something that's about 7 to 9 inches tall to go under your feet. This is going to help create a relative squatting position even though you're on the toilet. There are stools made specifically to go around the base of the toilet that have a cutout like this. This is a Squatty Potty, but there's many other brands now. You want it to be wide enough that your thighs can be apart and tall enough so that your knees are above the level of your hips. Again, this is because it's mimicking a squatting position. A squatting position puts your tailbone and pelvic floor in a position that the pelvic floor muscles can better relax, and that the rectum, where poop gets stored before it comes out, can be straighter so that it's just a straighter, smoother path out for that bowel movement. So feet elevated, knees wide apart. Then the back position is important too. You want to bring your shoulders back, elevate your chest a little, and then keeping your spine straight, you're gonna lean forward like a hinge from the hip, like this. Then you wanna go ahead and let your elbows rest on your knees so that you can be relaxed. Pooping should actually be very passive, aside from the initial gentle push. I'm gonna show you from a side view as well. Okay. So elevated feet, wide knees. You want to straighten your back and then hinge forward from the hip. If this is hard to do because of some tightness in your hips or low back, ask your physical therapist about some stretches that you could do so that you can more comfortably get in this position and not be pulled back into a hunched or rounded position. Once you're in your good toileting position, you want to make sure that you know how to gently push without straining. Sometimes people hold their breath and push excessively. Sometimes we call that straining. Sometimes when you're generating that excessive downward pressure, the pelvic floor reacts by actually squeezing or closing instead of relaxing and opening. So you don't push with your pelvic floor for a bowel movement. You want to generate a little bit of pressure from your abs, but your pelvic floor actually just needs to do nothing. It needs to relax and get out of the way, or sometimes we call this opening the gate. So here's one way to try to have a gentle bowel movement and push without straining. Inhale through your nose like smelling roses. Then blow hard through your mouth, a big hard blow, almost like you're trying to blow up a balloon. I can feel that creates a little bit of pumping activity in my abdominal wall. Now, for some people, if they suck in their belly too much, like you might do more if you were bracing and zipping in your abs for a strengthening maneuver, this can cause the pelvic floor, again, to react and shut. So here's one little tip or trick that you can do to make sure that your abs are tense, but they're not sucking in too much and triggering the pelvic floor to close. So you're gonna breathe just like I showed you. Big inhale, big blow, and then as you're blowing out, you can give yourself a little cue, low, low, low on your belly, right above your pubic bone. Tell yourself, don't let my fingers poke my belly. It's not as hard as bracing for a punch. I'm just making my ab wall tense, like I'm resisting sharp fingernails poking into me, but I'm making sure that I'm not continually sucking in and cinching my belly. And then you want to cue yourself to just let your pelvic floor go. You can imagine passing gas. You can imagine a ring dilating and opening around the anus area. Let's try that again. Big inhale, big blow, keep blowing. Don't let fingers poke your belly. Get that little bit of tension in your belly, and then see if you can feel your anus just soften and relax, open, down and out just a little bit. Okay. This can take a lot of practice, but you can retrain yourself over time to push without straining.